It started with something simple. A post. Not a speech, not a press conference, not even a direct accusation, just a message. But within hours, that message turned into a national controversy. And now, two of the most recognizable names in American politics, Donald Trump and James Comey, are once again at the center of a growing debate. The question is no longer just what was said. The real question is, how did we get here? To understand what's happening now, you have to look beyond the moment itself, because this is not just about one post. It's about history, it's about power, and it's about perception. For years, Trump and Comey have represented two very different sides of American public life. One, a political leader known for direct communication and strong public statements. The other, a former law enforcement official associated with institutional authority and investigation. Their paths have crossed before, but this time, the situation feels different because it's unfolding in real time and people are reacting instantly. Recently, a social media post attributed to James Comey began circulating widely. At first glance, it appeared simple, but as people began to interpret its tone and meaning, concerns started to grow. Some observers believed the message could be interpreted as suggestive or indirect in a way that raised questions. Others saw it as harmless commentary, nothing more than an expression of opinion. However, the situation escalated when individuals within Donald Trump's political circle responded. Soon after, legal attention followed. Reports indicated that the matter was being reviewed more seriously, not just as a public statement, but as something potentially crossing into a legal gray area. And just like that, a single post turned into a national discussion. The timing of this event matters. It didn't happen in isolation. It came at a moment when political tensions were already high. Public attention was already focused on leadership, accountability, and communication. And in today's environment, timing can amplify everything. The post surfaced online where millions of people engage instantly. Within hours, it moved from a simple message to headlines to debates across media platforms, television, social media, digital news. Everywhere, the same question began appearing. What did it really mean? And perhaps more importantly, why now? To understand the reaction, you have to understand the individuals involved. Donald Trump is known for his direct communication style. His influence extends beyond politics into media and public discourse. When situations arise, responses tend to be immediate and widely amplified. On the other side, James Comey has long been associated with law enforcement and institutional oversight. His public statements are often viewed through a different lens, one that carries expectations of precision and responsibility. So when a message from Comey is interpreted in multiple ways, the reaction is not just emotional, it becomes analytical. And when Trump's circle responds, it becomes political. So why did this situation grow so quickly? The answer lies in interpretation. In today's world, communication is no longer just about what is said, it's about how it is understood. A single message can be read in different ways by different audiences. Supporters of Comey argued that the post was being misinterpreted, that it was never intended to suggest anything beyond its literal meaning. Critics, however, raised concerns about tone and implication. They questioned whether someone in his position should communicate in a way that leaves room for ambiguity. And when those concerns reached political leadership, the situation escalated. Because at that point, it was no longer just about interpretation, it became about responsibility. Another key factor in this story is media amplification. Within hours, the story spread across multiple platforms. Different outlets framed it differently. Some focused on the legal angle, others focused on the political implications, and some focused on the broader question of communication in public life. This created multiple narratives, all developing at the same time. And for the public, it became difficult to separate fact from interpretation. because when a story moves this fast, clarity often gets lost. Public reaction has been divided. Some people see this as an example of necessary accountability. They believe that public figures, especially those with influence, must be careful with their words. Others see it as an overreaction. They argue that not every statement should be interpreted in the most extreme way, and that intent matters. This division reflects a larger pattern in modern discourse, where events are not just observed, they're interpreted through personal perspective, and once those perspectives take hold, they become part of the story. Beyond the individuals involved, this situation raises a broader question. What is the responsibility of public figures in the digital age? When communication is instant and interpretation is immediate, where should the line be drawn? Should every message be carefully controlled, or is there room for ambiguity? These questions don't have simple answers, but they're becoming more important with every new situation like this. At its core, this is not just a story about Trump and Comey. It's a story about communication, about interpretation, and about how quickly a moment can become a movement. A single post, a single reaction, a single decision can change the direction of a national conversation, and in a world where everything is connected, that conversation never really stops. So the real question is, was this situation unavoidable, or is it a sign of something bigger happening in how we communicate today?